The big Bengal battle. 45 people have been hacked, shot or bombed to death in Bengal. But the Chief Minister asked, what's my fault? 16 people were killed while ballot boxes were vandalized. Yet the Chief Minister asked, why am I being blamed? After 150 people are hounded out of their homes and forced to flee to neighboring state Assam, the Chief Minister still says, why do they hate me so much? Today on the NewsHour, we urge our viewers to not be swayed by mere statistics and poll rhetoric. Today, we will be the voice of those murdered, targeted and hunted out of their own homes. Can you imagine the anguish of being forced out of your own home or living every moment fearing for your life? Times Now traveled to Dhubri in Assam, where victims of Bengal violence were forced to take refuge. They show us videos of how their homes in Bengal were vandalized and razed by TMC goons, forcing them to flee. Many of them are from opposition parties and now fear for their own lives. Listen in.
हम लोग असम आया पिछले जो चुनाव हुआ था पंचायत चुनाव में हम लोग बीजेपी और हम लोग दोनों एक साथ गठबंधन करके मैंने उधर काठी दिया था। तो चुनाव में हम लोगों को तो लड़ने नहीं दिया। चुनाव का दिन हम लोगों का ऊपर इतना दबाव आया, पुलिस को साथ लेके जो शासक दल है तृणमूल पार्टी, वो लोग हम लोगों को उधर बुध में था सबको डंडा पीट के भगा दिया और उन लोगों ने छापा मार के जीत लिया। हम लोगों को भगा दिया बूथ से।
डर तो तृणमूलेরই মানে আমাদের ওইখানে যে সন্ত্রাসটা হয়েছে ওটার জন্য আসামে আসা। হ্যাঁ, যাওয়া তো বাড়ি, ওইখানে যাব না মানে অবশ্যই যাব। দেখি আলোচনা করতেছে, আসাম সরকারও করতেছে, দেখি কি মীমাংসা করে।
But listen in to what Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee had to say.
আমার সাথে আপনাদের কিসের ঝগড়া, কিসের বিদ্বেষ, কিসের রাগ? আমার যত কবিতা বিতানে আপনারা দেখবেন ম্যাক্সিমামটা আমি অলওয়েজ শান্তি, সম্প্রীতি, সংহতি, সংস্কৃতি, সভ্যতা এই নিয়ে চিরকাল কলম ধরেছি, কারণ এটা আমার প্রিয়। আজকে পঞ্চায়েত ইলেকশন ওভার হয়ে গেছে। আমি আপনাদের সকলকে আবার বলবো, ভেবে দেখুন, আমার যদি সত্যি কোনো অপরাধ থাকে, যে অপরাধ মানুষ আমাকে দেবে আমি মাথা পেতে নেব। আমাদের কি ভুল ত্রুটি আছে আপনারা আমাদের বলুন, আমরা জানতে চাই। মনে রাখবেন, বাংলার সম্মান নিয়ে যারা ছিনিমিনি খেলেছে তাদের আপনারা চিনে রাখুন।
You're watching the NewsHour at 9, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining the debate with Gaurav Bhatia, Dr. Anand Ranganathan and Sanjay Jha is Riju Datta, national spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress. Not only people have to flee to neighboring states, Riju Datta ji, look at the observations of the Calcutta High Court. They said if the state government is not in a position to safeguard citizens, it's a very serious matter. The court is surprised to note that even after the declaration of results, the state is not able to control the violence which has erupted in several places. Various allegations have been made in all the 3 writ petitions as to how the liberty of citizens have been compromised. And in fact, the court has said you can't even declare the winners because the court will look at whether they are the real winners or not. I want to ask you, Riju Datta, isn't that a huge indictment of the Trinamool Congress government in Bengal?
Navika ji, I speak straight. So my question is that, honesty and common sense both are in very limited supply in the BJP. Mr. Hemant Biswa Sarma tweeted that 100-odd families have come to Assam. Times Now goes to Dhubri and interviews these people. 10 minutes later, Sambit Patra does a press conference and said there is a mass exodus of thousands and thousands of people. So let them first fix a lie. And I am sure that if Times Now can go to Dhubri, Times Now can also go to, out of 44 people, the 30 Trinamool cadres who have lost their life to their house. But probably you will invite the wrath of Amit Malviya and Hiren Joshi. So I can understand your plight also. Bottom line is, yes, people have died. But people have died in the Panchayat polls and there is no way to support that. But the entire administration, the police force and the central forces were at the disposal of the State Election Commission, the State Election Commissioner nominated by the governor. So what will the Trinamool Congress do during that time? Now when the Panchayat polls are over, you show me from now till next 7 days if there is one loss of life. The central forces were ordered by the Deputy Home Minister Nishit Pramanik and Leader of Opposition Shubhendu Adhikari to stand as mute spectators. 627 companies were present in Bengal on poll day. Nobody was deployed. Now they will say, the IGBSF has sent a letter to the Election Commission. But what they will not say to you, Navika ji, is on 7th of July, the Leader of Opposition Shubhendu Adhikari has sent a legal notice to IGBSF saying why you have not deployed forces as per the order of the Calcutta High Court.
Riju Datta, may I correct a few of the fallacies that you have just made? We have interviewed families of TMC victims as well. Please be a regular watcher. Otherwise, I will just send you tweets which has been tweeted out of victims of Trinamool Congress workers as well. We've interviewed the father who lost his son. So please, and do not tell us that we are scared of X, Y or Z, because we are not. And you know it better than I do that I continue to cover Bengal despite having 13 FIRs against myself. I will cover and bring the truth to our viewers, regardless of however sarcastic you are to me. But it's not me you have to convince, sir. You have to convince the Calcutta High Court. The observations I read out were the Calcutta High Court's observations which indicted your Sarkar. You cannot announce the winners. The State Election Commission has been indicted and they also commented on the post-poll violence. So Gaurav Bhatia, is only rhetoric going to be the response to what's going on in Bengal?
See, today Mamata Banerjee is symbolic of anarchy, lawlessness. And she was supposed to read the Constitution of India. She was busy reading the Quran because she wanted to indulge in appeasement politics. Law and order is a state subject. 7th schedule, state list, entry 1. Can anyone else be blamed? Navika, the Calcutta High Court rightly has reprimanded Mamata Banerjee. And the state government has no answers. The reason is very simple. The duty of Mamata Banerjee is to punish the guilty. She has to nab them, arrest them. Rather, she is seen shielding the criminals because they belong to the TMC. The TMC spokesperson here was talking about, the incident as if it was a solitary incident. Let me give him one example. 2018 Panchayat elections. The Honorable Supreme Court passed an order. There were deaths, there was violence, and Supreme Court remarked, democracy is dead in West Bengal. Bir Bhoom, 10 people burnt alive inside their houses, and Calcutta High Court ordered a CBI investigation. 2nd May, when the results of the assembly election were declared, what happened? 2 May Kanun Vyavastha gai. And again, the Calcutta High Court ordered a CBI investigation. The question that the people of the country and West Bengal are asking is this, that if they do not agree with the violence and the ideology of the TMC, will they have to suffer and, will they be targeted to lose their life? And Mamata Banerjee,
it's a very important question and I want to ask Dr. Sanjay Jha. Dr. Sanjay Jha, law and order state subject, has Mamata Banerjee failed? And will you discuss this when you meet in Bengaluru on what is going on in Bengal when you decide to meet and make an alliance of all political parties to save the constitution, to save democracy in India? Will Bengal be a topic of discussion?
Navika, it will be, and I want to make two very quick points. Number one, it is the height of the most repugnant hypocrisy that the BJP has the audacity to come on television shows and lecture the TMC or any other party for that matter, when the Prime Minister and the Home Minister were campaigning in Karnataka as Manipur burned. And I still haven't heard what the Prime Minister's views are on Manipur. There are over 140 or 130 are dead. And they're Indians, by the way. So I think the BJP needs to actually hang its head in shame, but they're so thick-skinned they won't. My second point, look at the West Bengal election result, and I will tell you why worry. The TMC has had a comprehensive victory. The Congress also contested against them. So my statement is rather bipartisan. The TMC had a clean sweep at a very distant second to the BJP. So ask ourselves, who had the electoral incentive for creating social polarization? I mean, clearly the party has such a
okay. So somebody is winning. So somebody is winning. So indict them, indict the second runner-up, and not ask questions of the government, which is supposed to maintain law and order. Gaurav Bhatia is responding to you. Gaurav Bhatia.
What logic? He's not.
Answer.
You know, I am shocked and I am sad today to see that a Congress sympathizer does not have the courage to reprimand, criticize and condemn Mamata Banerjee. Congress party has lost its workers. They have been brutally murdered. And imagine the plight of family members who are watching time now, right now, seeing a Congress sympathizer siding with Mamata Banerjee. This worker has blood in his hands. The reason is simple, that due to the hatred they have for Modi ji, they will not condemn Mamata Banerjee, who has been a failed leader in West Bengal.
Well, Anand Ranganathan, as a citizen, what are we to infer from what's going on? Should we just leave this also to just a two-way political fight and just explain it away like that?
Very briefly, number one, first of all, Rijuda is a very good friend, everyone knows it, but I take grave objection to his saying that the central forces, the Jawans we are proud of, were under the influence of the BJP leaders of Bengal, and they were asked to stay on the side and be silent. I think it is very objectionable, and he must apologize, and he's a good lad, he would. Number two, rather than discuss the absolute mockery of democracy in Bengal, Rijuda is actually alleging that the democracy has been murdered by all other parties other than Trinamool. That's point number one. Point number two is on my good friend Sanjay Jha, when he knows Rahul Gandhi goes to Europe and America and travels all around the world castigating India, saying democracy and its institutions are dead. Not one squeak from Rahul Gandhi against Mamata.
Absolutely. No word from Rahul Gandhi, no word from Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, no word from other political party heads, even Akhilesh Yadav, not one word. And to Mr. Riju Datta, who pointed a finger at us, I only want to tell you, 5th July, 5:54 p.m., just go back and watch Times Now. It'll be there on YouTube, and you can find us speaking to victims, even from Trinamool Congress, who lost their lives. Well, I can only say, when the High Court makes such observations and when everything is on display in 24-hour television times, then clearly facts cannot be ignored, and Bengal needs to wake up and smell the coffee, because we're talking about human lives lost when law and order should have been maintained by the TMC government. We leave it at that for now. Thank you very much for joining me on the NewsHour tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Good night and be safe.
You were watching the NewsHour at 9. Stay tuned.